Universal basic income. Let's imagine a world where everyone, irrespective of their social and economic status, doesn't have to worry about basic needs like having at least one square meal per day and a roof over their heads. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? So basically, you get money for free. Unemployed, unmarried, or even uninterested. Doesn't matter. You must be suspicious by now. Hello, optimism has a limit. But let's delve deeper and ask a more relevant question. Why are we even talking about such a utopian concept? Why free money? Why not ample employment generation and alleviation of the underprivileged to a platform where they can earn not just money but a respectable position in society? Universal basic income is a simple idea. It is a periodic, unconditional cash transfer to every citizen in the country by the government or a public institution. It is different from subsidies or benefits in the following ways. It would be paid to individuals rather than households. It is irrespective of any other income, and one wouldn't need to be employed or job seeking to benefit. Thus, it is not targeted but is universal in nature. Let's talk about employment generation. It is exactly what countries have been striving to achieve till now. A properly structured employment generation program to eradicate poverty. Employment generation has significantly impacted many. For example, there has been an increase in 118% in employment under the Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana, an employment generation program in India. However, there are many ways of looking at it. Employment generation becomes difficult as unemployment stems from the problem of disproportion in the availability and demand for jobs, to say the obvious. Universal basic income ensures financial security to all citizens. As a result, people are encouraged to venture into entrepreneurship. This automatically leads to generation of jobs and ultimately has a positive impact on the economy. Universal basic income, though often seen as a burden on government funds, has the potential to create enough jobs in the long run to counter the problem of unemployment. Employment generation schemes come with the danger of being counterproductive. Just for the sake of creating jobs, factors like optimum number of people required for the job, working conditions, training opportunities, and so on are neglected. On the contrary, universal basic income acts as an incentive to explore job opportunities according to their choice, interest, and capability. Lack of education and lack of skills are the major causes of unemployment. Employment generation schemes mainly focus on providing jobs rather than making people capable of availing it on their own. This leads to a culture of stagnancy. Universal basic income exhorts people to invest in areas like education, health, and training. This helps them compete for better jobs and other opportunities. So, how exactly is UBI implemented? It includes direct cash transfer rather than payment in kind. It is paid on a regular basis rather than as a one off endowment, and it is essentially meant for people with full citizenship. Non-citizens might have to fulfill criteria such as a minimum period of past residence in the state or country. Now let us look at the pros or the advantages of UBI. Universal basic income is considered because of one primary reason. It guarantees everyone a minimum voice in the marketplace. It ensures an income above subsistence level and basic needs of life are met. Since the minimum income is guaranteed, working for a job suddenly becomes a matter of choice and not force or compulsion. One can genuinely choose to work, and this may result in greater commitment as choice is a powerful motivator. Universal basic income helps recognize and reward unpaid but essential contributions which help sustain economy. For example, the work done by volunteers and housewives. We are in the age of industrialization, and most of the production is becoming centralized around automation and machinery and less labor intensive. As a consequence, unskilled laborers lose out on regular jobs, and erratic employment makes it difficult for them to sustain themselves. Workers involved in traditional jobs such as pottery, embroidery, handicrafts, and so on are also hard hit by the competition from the more preferred cheap machine made goods. A basic income has the scope of covering such groups of people and protecting the age old tradition of countries. Universal basic income empowers laborers to demand for a decent wage, proper working conditions, and fixed working hours. This will help curb exploitation of workers and trade union uprisings and protests. Universal basic income as a scheme is relatively easy to implement as compared to other targeted welfare schemes which need extensive groundwork and research. Economic deprivation is a major cause of crime all around the world. With assured financial security, fulfillment of basic needs, and a work of one's own choice, crime becomes less attractive. This promotes overall goodwill and safety in the society. Patriarchy, which is deeply embedded in nations such as India and the Gulf countries, is essentially a result of women being financially dependent on men. The conventional idea of man being the head of the family stems from the fact that he is usually the only earning member in the family. Universal basic income as a concept can challenge such ideas. Now let us have a look at the cons or the disadvantages of universal basic income as a concept. One of the major criticisms put forward by most economists is that universal basic income is impossibly expensive. Given the large population sizes, the fiscal burden would be humongous. Once implemented, UBI will be difficult to wind up in case of failure. It is almost like an irreversible process, and once people are promised, lifting such a scheme would cause widespread dissent and objection. UBI can also cause inflation in the economy. There are two reasons for this. UBI might be funded by higher taxes. Also, UBI increases purchasing power and in turn demand for goods and services. This would ironically erode purchasing power, lowering the value of basic income paid. A guaranteed basic income might also backfire. It may discourage people to take up work. It may breed dependency and cause people to opt out of labor market, defeating the very purpose of UBI, which is the promotion of self-sufficiency. UBI may also reduce availability of workers in some sectors which are necessary but unattractive. This leads to increase in wages for such jobs. Sometimes, empowering laborers can have a negative impact on the producers as they might misuse their financial security to demand for more wages and incentives which might not be feasible or well deserved. There is a possibility of misuse of UBI by people spending it on activities such as betting and gambling or on temptation goods like drugs and alcohol. A clear financial service infrastructure and wide financial inclusion of people through creation of bank accounts becomes an inevitable prerequisite for the implementation of UBI. Now, having looked at both sides of the argument, let us now see what countries feel about UBI as a scheme. On June 5, 2016, Swiss people voted on a referendum that included a question about the implementation of UBI. The campaigners had proposed 2,500 francs for adults and 650 francs for children per month. The referendum was voted down with only 23% of the votes supporting the implementation of UBI. Charles Whitelaws, an economics professor at the Geneva Graduate Institute, was quoted saying, "If you pay them for nothing, they will do nothing. People will quit jobs in droves and this will lead to the detriment of the economy." On the other hand, Iran was the first country to introduce universal basic income in the year 2010 with $40 paid to each citizen per month. However, recently the government is considering to lower the money paid to the citizens as the oil prices have decreased. Also, the government had urged the rich class to give up their subsidies, yet 78 million people have again signed up for the guaranteed income this year. Finland recently in Jan 2017 launched a 2-year pilot scheme of a guaranteed income of €560 per month to 2,000 unemployed Finnish workers, irrespective of whether they may get a job or not within the given period of the scheme. Kela, the organization which runs Finland's social security systems and is currently running the pilot scheme, hopes that the experiment will boost employment. Countries like India and Netherlands, Canada are considering UBI as an idea for the future. They aren't for or against it, as the scheme is extensively being researched and debated about. However, its implementation, at least in the near future, is unlikely. Now let us have an exclusive look at the Indian scenario. The Ministry of Finance released the Annual Economic Survey 2017, which explores the idea of universal basic income as a future possibility. A whole chapter has been dedicated to this topic. Quoting Mr. Arvind Subramaniam, the Chief Economic Advisor, The time is ripe to discuss about such an issue, not necessarily implement it. The matter has become a much talked about issue grabbing limelight in the recent times all around the globe. Many articles, reviews, opinions, and discussions are revolving around UBI. With the economic survey talking about UBI in elaboration, media has highlighted the issue well. Providing both sides of the argument, Indian media has handled the issue with maturity and created a platform for its responsible and aware citizens to discuss the feasibility of the idea themselves. Even pro government newspapers and channels have not hyped or downplayed the issue. Rather, they have given enough space for healthy discussions and debates to pave the way to public opinion. Last year, at a program for Gandhi Jayanti, Mr. Subramaniam talked about UBI for the very first time. He said that poverty is not just linked with birth anymore and has become a broader issue. Many people are unexpectedly pushed into poverty as a result of unfortunate events such as droughts, which are one of the primary reasons of farmer suicides in India. A basic income will provide them with an unconditional and guaranteed insurance against such circumstances. Now, let's talk about an experiment which was conducted in India in the year 2010. This was conducted in the heart of India, that is, Madhya Pradesh. Now, around 20 villages were nominated and tested under this experiment. According to the first communication results of the pilot project, a lot of positive developments were seen. Villages spent more on food and healthcare, children's school performance improved in 68% of families, time spent in school nearly tripled, personal savings tripled, and new business startups doubled. The study also found an increase in economic activity as well as an increase in savings, an improvement in housing and sanitation, improvement in nutrition, less food poverty, improved schooling and health, greater inclusion of disabled in society, and a lack of frivolous spending. The results were quite wonderful, but these results cannot be extrapolated to the whole nation because the experiment was conducted on a very small scale. Now, the Economic Survey of India has proposed a few alternatives to UBI, the first one being quasi-universality. Quasi-universality mainly suggests that 75% of the total population will be under the target population for UBI, so that the focus is on the ones who are really in a dire need of financial security. The cost of this quasi-universality is estimated to be around 4.9% of the GDP. The target can also be only women, who are usually the most exploited and generally face the worst prospects for education, health, employment, and financial inclusion. UBI for women can reduce the fiscal cost to about half. UBI can also be targeted towards certain vulnerable groups only, such as widows, pregnant mothers, senior citizens, and the infirm. However, there is a flip side to each of these alternatives. There might be an exclusion error in the identification of the target groups, and this will lead to inefficiency, wastage, and corruption might also creep in. So, now what? When we first heard about this idea, our reaction was like, wow, this is super cool. The moment we sat down to analyze it, well, we got our reality check. UBI has many advantages. We talked about them under the pros section. However, implementation of such a wonderful idea requires humongous amounts of money and effort. Developed countries, we feel, don't really require UBI. We feel that UBI is mainly targeted at the poorest of the poor, who cannot afford the basic needs, and the percentage of such populations is large in underdeveloped and developing countries. Such a wonderful scheme can actually replace other already existing schemes and subsidies, which have failed to work or bring about any change whatsoever. Also, another point to be noted is that agriculture is one of the major occupations in developing and underdeveloped countries. So UBI in those countries becomes all the more important. However, the major problem is that UBI needs a clear financial system for its implementation, or else it will end up like thousands of other schemes which are not working. Indian statistics pointed out that only 40% of the existing bank accounts are active. Authentication failures are as high as 49%. Still, about one third of the Indian population is yet to own an account. Also, according to Budget 2017, fiscal deficit is about 3.2% of the GDP. So what do we do under such circumstances? Well, SpongeBob knows the answer. Exactly. We are not ready yet. We strongly feel that India and many other countries are not yet ready and evolved enough to implement a scheme like UBI. UBI has several benefits and can save lives. It can reduce infant mortality, it can improve child education and health, and it can help in so many different ways which we discussed under pros. The list can go on. But the sad part is our systems aren't evolved enough to take up this challenge yet. And hence, it is better not to jump to conclusions. The future ahead is bright. As a famous saying goes, unconditional basic income is not left or right, it's forward. So if we work hard enough, we might reach a position where we could implement a scheme like UBI. For now, our advice to governments all around the world would be either be ready to face the dire consequences if you are underprepared for UBI, or pull up your socks and make the existing schemes work first. It's high time you started doing that.